Good afternoon. Not quite yet, Yami. Good morning still when this video reaches you. Could well be. Good afternoon from Yami BTV. Sending loads of love to you all, as usual. We get round to misplaced loyalties. Who, in reality, showed out as the real ones that backed up all the so-called morals from that life in the jungle and backed it to every single so-called morally correct principle when making big statements, maybe not by words, but having relationships with men and loving them and repping it, whether you're there or not, and against who, don't matter. And once they got you for life. You know what I mean? So we go into it. You know, there was many times along that life where I said that I was backing certain people. We've got to keep it honest on Yami BTV. But obviously, I didn't love them, maybe some of the men we talk about now. Give me a few bits and bobs. Yeah, I got you and all that. Tony used to laugh his fucking head off, and John Gray, the big man from Manchester, right? And all the rest, I see. Because game playing sometimes, like, obviously I will put in a bit of work for the graft or whatever, but die for you on for those little bits when really the relationship that we got is just because of a bit of rare tear to know the difference in it. Because doing a job for someone for that is different for me coming out for a few men that I love. And sometimes, again, I've got to be honest sometimes. All right, we go into first there, the proper stuff. Fresh, I know, David Warren, the cream, the real juice, yeah, the juice. We looked at the great Warren Slainey. In reality, we knew that Uncle Yami describes him as a major problem for every single big name that ever lived, and that forever and a day before I met him, all the years in the B category jails, and Yami, did you bump into Slainey? Have you heard? Slainey was the most talked about warlord of all time. So when I met him, piercing green eyes or blue eyes, and they're so intense, kind of good looking, if you get what I mean. Walks like Clint Eastwood, in the good, the bad, and the ugly. Yeah, right? So exchange straight away. See me train and see the character and talking to one of his besties, Martin Valentine. Slainey, yes, I mean, but Slainey had been watching me anyway. So then we got to kind of get close and move. Don't worry about the little things that go on sometimes. Remember when I first come out, I was clouded and looking at small things that could have upset me about a man. But in reality, like I've said to you lot already, it's still nothing compared to what some of those men that I witnessed, what they did for me and others and that kind of stuff. We look at Slainey again. The ultimate, if I got you, I got you. I don't care. I love you. Little things, touching with people. And it's very rare that he is going to, you know what I mean, go all out for one particular man. There's probably 4 or 5 in my mind that I know that he would ride for. And one of them was Stevie Lydia. We knew that when Stevie Lydia had problems or had a little row with someone and blah, blah, that's a row, really. Nothing too spectacular. Stevie Lydia didn't even lose. Slainey got it near the end and missed it. You know what I mean? Screaming that he didn't get hold of the geezer properly. So then, 10 years later, 10 years later, Slainey were in another cat and were there, and the man in question, the one who had the fight, Stevie Lydia, turns up at the jail. Slainey ain't said nothing to nobody. Then we're down on classes, right? The geezer walks into the room. Slainey straight away, still doesn't say anything, waits for him to go into the toilet. I know what the thoughts are because I remember the original incident. I said, you have me? He goes, I said, hey, a bit old though, Warren. Never old, Yam. Oh no. I knew the other geezer as well, right? Slainey gets out of here. Yam, do the honours. Right. What he means is hold, look out, screws, blah, 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 blah. Slainey, while he's in the toilet, Slainey goes in, does the famous move with his feet on the wet floor, just in case it's slippery, like a bull charging to the red rag thing, right? And when the geezer looked at him, he looked like he see a ghost, boy. And this geezer could have a row, mate, and done a lot of geezers and screws. I was going to mention him yesterday. Slainey splattered his face all over the place. The geezer didn't even get a punch in, right? Slainey got away. Allegedly, right? So, 4. That's all for Stevie Lydia. I'll get it twisted. Stevie Lydia ain't even in the jail. So that's when he's not there. In the moral code of what we talked about, my life and that kind of thing during that time. 21 gun salute. Truth, facts, real as they come. Done. Right? Comes back. I saw the geezer come back on the wing with his eye. Shouted at me. He goes, Yummy. I said, well, didn't you tell me a few years ago that you would have it with him and that you'd have it with anyone, which you would? He went like that to me. Yummy, I can't fight with him. He fought with everybody else, mate. Come on, lads. Did. Not with Slainey. So we knew that the great Slainey, fucking hell, yeah, minutes ago, by today, this is going to be a long one, full of drama. Right. So we know about Slainey. It's the realest thing that ever lived, the last of the Mohicans. Blah-de-blah-de-blah. What he says and does, you remember the things with me? I'm the Huckleberry, throwing down the gauntlet, da-da-da-da-da. Right, we closed that. Tonya JohnG, 100% you don't have to be there with him when you got beef with someone. Now, that, another time, argument again, Yummy, always in the thick of it. We know that. Tony, straight away, no talking. Tone, not listening. Reading it the way that he's reading it, and you know what I mean, I ain't having that. You're out. And I mean, it's fair to say that I'm not allowed to talk about 3 of these fights, right, with Tony, because of certain things, but every single geezer that he fought, Tony, during that stay, because remember he had to keep his head down the cage, every single geezer that he fought were bigger geezers, bullied people, household kind of names, have been in the system a long time and made easy work of them as well. But certain times I just wish my brother wouldn't have done the things, got involved, because it wasn't really that. I wasn't offended. You see what I mean? What could I do? I seen him walk up to geezers who's got beef with Bill and things back in the day, and others as well, and walk up and test them, say, you're blah blah, ain't ya? Listen, or the word of ya, blah blah blah. He's even told people to get off the wing, give him a chance, told him. So we know about the great Tony, eh? We know that it's the realest man that ever lived. We know that bit. We even touch on GN, Gary Nelson, whatever. Talk about it. I'll talk about who I want, mate. I ain't saying nothing that nobody don't know, right? It's my boy at the end of the day, from way back in the day. And simple exchanges that Roger V, one time we was all standing there, right? Right. Do you remember that time I told you when, I was having up and down time, one of the Cat A's with the gear, 6 months cleaning and come out like we are now at the moment and all that. And then me and Roger moving, and I'm right-hand man, Rog. Yes. We knew that when there was something that went on one day and he said, Yummy, he's got to go, and you know that I went and blah, 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 and the geezer dived over the counter. We knew that bit, right? Now listen to me. They was having an exchange outside the door, right? While I was in the cell, I was like thinking, I was walking past GN for a little while, right? I was had the ump with him because I was on form at this time. So Roger's saying to him, listen, you underestimated Yummy sometimes. I would have taken Yummy on properly out there and da-da-da-da-da. Yummy was that guy that did GN in rage. and truthfulness, in all honesty, shouts back. What do you want me to do? Wait every 6 months of every year for him to get clean so that he produces his best performances? True. You know what I mean? These little exchanges. Roger says to him, oh, what's his name? Kay from South. He's going to go and have a word with my man down there in that other jail. I've told him, like, I'll make sure you go and have a word with him. Do you know what GN said to him? He's the king of the one-liners, GN. You remember that on the yard with Kenny Noy? It went like that. He's the king of the wisdom. Gary Nelson, very, very intelligent. He said to Roger V, yeah, you wouldn't have to ask me to do it. Again, the moral code, poof, in that life. I mean, I'm just telling you. These are the exchanges that are, fresh you say, juicy. You wouldn't have to ask me, because in his mind, what he's really telling him is that I love you and I got you. I don't care who it is or whatever. When I see my man, it's on him. Not that, yeah, go and sort out that for me, GN, and go and... Roger V went, true. GN lived by certain heart of gold, really. Very sympathetic and empathetic to others. Vulnerable people. A lot of these fights were really nothing to do with him. It's mad, isn't it? It's sad as well. Phil Curry would tell you if he was being totally honest about a lot of things. The thing with WS and things, that weren't really nothing to do with him to begin with. Think about it. Always the rescuer, the protector, and blah, blah, blah. Never, ever seen him fight anyone weak, ever in my whole life, or talk to anyone weak. In fact, I see him take talk and cool. All right, close it. Again, one of the realists. When I got you, I got you. This is what this video is about. Third one, Quincy. My little young nephew, like when he was 21, raving nutter when he comes to the Cates. And you remember, me and a man wanted to fight me out of the blue. And then I was like walking, I was thinking, I said, all right then, recess. The man offered me out in a recess, I went. But when I was walking, I was thinking, fucking hell, man, who's this? He's really tall and all that. Never seen him before in my life, Quincy. Yeah, unks, let me go deal with that for you. Nah, stay by the door, let me have it. You know what I mean? We knew what happened next in the recess that day. You remember when he was doing the Ali shuffle, and I thought, fucking hell, it's the end for me today. Turned out that it wasn't really what the shuffle was suggesting. But remember, I had to throw him through the ceiling, drop him on the floor, fold him up, and bam, the bell went. One of the realists, who backs it, who lives by it. If you're with him, you see the other people in other jails, you're going to back it. Now, in talking about the big man from Manchester, John Gray, right? Those of us that know, and there's many of you mates watching now, and I'll stick it on yard, but tell you categorically, again, you don't have to be there for him to represent another one who puts his neck on the line for everyone. That isn't his stuff, because no one can't really say nothing to him anyway. I told you, Massey, Noon and all of them, I witnessed them going to him for support. They did, man. You know what I mean? And you lot know I'm talking the truth. And then those other things I saw with Big Reds and Caspar and Shaka, all from Manchester, others from Liverpool. Remember that Jason Revell? There's others little bits as well. Backs it for you. Goes out of his way. All right, cool, I can't deal with that. Another protector, rescuer. Got bits of black in. No, a lot of people know that. It's Glaswegian Manchester, JG. But got black in him as well. That, when I mentioned the Proverbs thing the other day, again, all cultures got stick for it, for sticking up for black people, Asian people, coming out. Even the Muslim, the Akis loved him. When all that madness was going on, there was Leah Russia and all that. Never forget that, you lot, as well. And then they were going to move to my man, Furman did. And JG's coming, oi, listen, because he was not because he was badding them up, but because they respected him so much, John Gray, that they said, all right, John, we'll leave that one there. And they, you know, there's a lot of people getting served up at that time. Sorry to say, man, it was. You know what I mean? The rules had changed during that last shift. A lot of those other big names that we talk about, really, don't really take no risk in jail, but they got the money and they can get you done. But they never did nothing themselves. Nah, they didn't, though. They didn't do nothing themselves. So does it prove, what does it mean in the end? Are they the jack of all trades, the master of none? You know, could they survive in the jungle without the money? Got to be honest. No. Them guys would have taken liberties with you. And at the greatest of all time, like Uncle Yummy tells you straight up and down, the long fella, when you got problems with people that when he was doing his little small stints, or even, you know what I mean, in life, so I hear from certain years, if he loves you, he won't even entertain you, not even talk to you, don't bring nothing to you, I don't know you, mate. Not that, like, a man turns up, right, to Long Arm, comes on the wing, John Gray says to him, he's just fucking massive, right? Begins to bar. Comes in, everyone's talking to him and da-da-da-da. He walks up to John Gray. John Gray walks up to him and goes, are you blah, blah, blah? And he says, yeah, who are you? He said, I'm John Gray. This is, and John Gray goes, you got problems with, what's his name, innit? Oh, this is him. Yeah. He goes, you're John Gray. Like, straight away. After all that, straight away, yeah, I'll check it though. I'll write to him. Let me go and see. You get the info. If he says, you got to go, mate. All right, John. Nothing. In return. You lot talk about him like he's fucking, you know what I mean? We're not here to slate people. I'll tell you what I saw and what I know. 100% fact. We talk about a guy. This is a mix-up. Another, like me and the Tony Argent thing with my John Gray. Now, there's a geezer from East London called Murdoch. Right? In for a murder, 25. Yeah. Got on with him kind of on and off, but a bit temperamental, the geezer. But he's all, you know what I mean? No problems with him, really. But one of those mornings again, me playing as the muscles are back, and everywhere I go, I keep catching up in wrestles with people, and he comes up to me just out of the blue. Jealousy again, isn't it? Because all of a sudden I'm looking like the best looking geezer that ever lived with all the muscles and all that. It's not the man that was coming to give me 5 of them things. And I'll do that. Yeah, give me that. Yeah. You're thinking that's me. No, that's not all me. That's why all the big names love me and they saw right through it all. Shut up. But anyway, it gets up into a little thing. I end up folding him up and messing about, and then he got off the bed, right? And this is John Gray's friend. John Gray's friend. He's got off the bed. His face was serious, boy. He goes, Jamie, don't use your muscles. Don't think because you put on some muscles that you're ready. I said to him, listen, cool yourself, right? So I know it's a weapons thing now, right? So as he's coming, he's got his hand in his pocket, so I have to reach. Before I could say anything, the door opened. No, the door was opened already with John Gray standing there like that. So when he got off the bed, John Gray, when he made a move to step towards me, which it would have been messy either way between me and Murdoch, John Gray was there like that. Backed him off and back on the bed. That hurt John Gray. But he did that for me. So the levels to this thing is that he loved him, but he loved me more. You see what I mean? Doesn't want to be there and I get into a but hold on, John, I'll have it with him. No. You know what I mean? That's the realness. Those are the ones. When you're not there, when you're there, blah, 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 it's on. Kevin Lane, peterfury, live by them, the same codes, moral codes. Kevin, turn up somewhere. People say, he goes, you got a thing with my man. You know what I mean? Other people's stuff. Still keeping it real in that way. You know, I've got to say it. He did. You know he did. Come on, man. Peterfury, I hear things. Another, got John Gray ways a little bit to me from what I've seen. Those diplomatic, morally correct ways of saying things and living by what's in there. Peterfury, I love the way he talks, you know. Another lot. Anyone you're in love with, who your friends are, when they see, they're not going to talk to them. Now that time, another friend, right? I know I've made some mistakes while I was on that stuff sometimes. I mean, I've got to be honest with you. So a man gets a man that I like, goes in a box against him, right? And they're not doing nothing to him, no one, for the whole sentence. And he's doing bad things to people in there with that, right? Daniel W, yeah? He's got that. So a few of them other guys from Birmingham, Nottingham, Leeds, yeah, me, man. Come on, man. You don't, Go and rob him. You don't have to take everything off him every day. Like, yeah, give me 3 of them things. You're like taking the thing and biding your time when really I should be outing him for a man that he locks up. Really. I accept that one because I didn't do it. But after it all was said and done, I said, lie there when I was clean. You're no good, Yam. Didn't do it that time there. Right? So I'm thinking, I took everything off him, but, I was kind of subtly and finessing him and stripping him down and, yeah, give me 3 of them and I won't touch you kind of thing. I was doing that one. Rather than just going there, you've done that to him, let me do you and take your things anyway. Didn't do it on that occasion, though I have on others. But it rankled with me when I got clean. Another one as well. And so I got someone close to me, so they say, I wasn't too sure about it all, but everywhere he used to go, he used to call me Yammy, Yammy. And his eyes used to be on me every single day of the week. Yammy, Yammy. I think they're not going to, you know what I mean? But he's supposed to be a bad man. Worrying about me, yeah? I'll be a squeeze this time. But, oh shit, Yammy, don't lose your flow now. So, the ones that didn't, I saw a guy, right, having a fight, and he was loving it, and everyone started running towards the fight until he got knocked on the floor. Then I saw everybody stopping their tracks. All right, the screw stopped it and all that. But you was on your way until he hit the floor. It's mad how people jump on, you're going to show out when there's some, you know what I mean? The sign that the geezer could have it kind of thing put a few people off. It's fucking funny, man. I'm telling you, with who's got me and you got me, and then friends are made in there. Yeah, you're John, you're Kev. Yeah, you're Tony, come with me. And Tony, yeah, all right, yeah, sweet. And then you go somewhere else and you're having it with the enemies and you're not doing what you said you was in another jail, but really you only joined forces because you couldn't have it yourself and do the things that those guys did regularly, consistently over a long period of time. A lot of that. And you get found out, and some of the men, I wouldn't blow them up, Manchester, Liverpool, all over the place, the Manx and the Scousers run the Ks when they're all together, Did you not know that? Screws don't like them all together. When I used to hear little beefs about this one and that one, I used to think, but they're all getting on. Running the whole place, the Manx and the Scouts, when they're all together, they used to get on. There's always going to be the odd one, when they drop in. And then, again, a lot of friendships are lost because they're riding with you all that time, especially the Scouts. And then you go somewhere else and you see the one that they got problems with, then they're not saying nothing to him. In fact, he's in the mix now with them as well. So how does it leave you feeling when you thought that somebody had you like that? Like you said you would have them, and they don't have you like that. And then people stop talking to each other because a lot of those other fights are made up of other people. It's fucking deep, We knew about the big fight that day with Tomo and all that. And another one, Tomo, when I'm at the thing, Tomo go like, what's he saying? You know what I mean? No, Tomo's not saying nothing. I fancy Tomo. Tomo's one of the greatest. I do. I struggle to see sometimes who could win that. So there's other bits I've forgotten in this, innit? I was fucking free-flowing there, the dogs. But the reality of those exchanges and one-liners of men living, to me now, it is a bit moral code of the rules set out in the jungle of how we're meant to behave as proper gangsters. I didn't live up to it sometimes because of the other stuff, but there was other days. That's what I was going to say. And I hold my hands up to this one. That when you came, I've gone a couple of other places, you say something about Tonya, you say something about John Gray, you say something about Roger, you say something about all the ones, GN or whatever. And if I'm in that other frame of mind, say if I was like how I am now, but the nutter back in the day, if I see you, as much as I've got the love for them, I still in my mind, if I run up on you for the sake of them, right? And there are times when, right now, in the back of my mind as well, I have to be honest, that I thought as well, if John Gray, Tony Argent, GN, Quincy, all the ones that I loved, right, hear that I saw one of their enemies and never done nothing, what do you think? Peer pressure a little bit, yeah, but I do love them anyway. But if they heard that I saw him and didn't say nothing or didn't plot to get rid of him or get him or do him myself, whatever, What do you think they're going to feel like with me if I ain't got it sorted? It's all right blaming me now about the jungle. Some things are kept secret. We know that on Yami BTV. But not as well as the love, don't get me wrong. I have to. Colin Gunn, others. I'd have to be plotting. If I'm not, can't do you, you're in the mix and you've got loads round you with protection wise and all that, and I'm in one of different frames of mind. I'll say, right, then I'll get that, mix that up and we'll have to go on behalf of the ones that I love. I don't want it reaching back there saying that I never. You know what I mean? But not for just those reasons, but my reasoning. Again, we're looking up to certain figures, which I did. And they're lifelong friends, a lot of them now. Straight goers, businessmen, whatever now. Doesn't really matter. I'm just telling you what was going through my mind at that time when the big things came up. You know what I mean? So I think we covered that. And that's 25 minutes. Fucking hell, yeah, I mean. The one thing that they never had over me, all of them put together, is none of them was better looking than me. I'm coming up later on. Don't forget the live tomorrow. I love you all dearly.